Dealing with narcissists is the most infuriating thing you can ever imagine. So at this point, I can't say anything about my parents without also saying they were abusive and drug addicted. Because if I was to say, I'm really struggling a lot with my allergies right now. My dad also struggled with allergies. He used to get bronchitis. People would say, oh, so your dad wasn't abusive then because he had bronchitis and you're only talking about the bronchitis. No, it's just the abusiveness didn't have anything to do with the bronchitis. I could also talk about his Native American heritage. That would have nothing to do with the abusiveness. Not everything is connected. You can talk about one thing without discussing something else, but you can't with a narcissist. You can't. Because the narcissist only cares about their agenda in bringing you down. That's why, even though I said nothing derogatory in my Father's Day post, they had to bring up, oh, well, then your father must not be abusive because you didn't say in this video. That's what narcissistic abuse looks like. It's the inability to allow you to move on and talk about something else because they got to keep bringing it back to the thing that they don't believe or want to hurt you with. Nothing that I say about my parents in the future negates the abusiveness. But I'm not always going to say that. I am not always, when speaking about my parents, going to refer to them as drug-addicted, abusive mother, drug-addicted, abusive father, because that's very long-winded. And it's not always the case. Like, if I'm talking about how my mom used to listen to Meatloaf, and that's why I listen to Meatloaf, I'm probably not going to make a video saying, well, my narcissistic, abusive, drunk mother used to listen to me. No, I'm just going to say I have an affinity for Meatloaf because my mother had an affinity for Meatloaf. The fact that they were abusive is not all they were, if that makes any sense. And I don't know how to make people understand that because there's already this large group that doesn't believe abuse exists unless it's happening 24/7. My brother was born handicapped because of the abuse that my family now denies. And I'm tired of constantly screaming it just to be told that there's not enough proof for anybody to ever believe me. And then when I try to move on and say things that don't have anything to do with the abuse, they want to bring it back and say, but we want to hear more about the abuse that we don't believe. And you didn't mention it, so you must have lied. It's exhausting. It is absolutely soul-crushingly exhausting. Whether there is enough proof that my family is abusive does not change my opinion and my feelings and my trauma that has come from it. But I am allowed to talk about other things. Just because I have moved forward and begun speaking in different tones and words does not mean the things I said in the past were not true. It means that I am attempting to communicate in a different way because the way I was communicating in the past was not working. And I am desperately attempting to find a way to communicate, to be understood and not attacked 24/7. It's really frustrating. Like, I can write, but I can't communicate. I'm living in a world where nobody understands a word that I say. And there's no other world. So I have to change, and I have to adapt, and I have to learn how to be understood.